everybody, it's Sharon here. Welcome back to my channel for those who are returning, and welcome to any new subscribers that may be visiting for the first time. So in our last video we created our journaling cards and pockets using the kits from JunkWithSteph that I shared in a previous video, and I will link that video below so that you can see the kits that we're using. I really love the way these have turned out. And I was thinking about how I wanted to embellish them. Now I have lots of choices, but I think before I go any further I would like to work on some clusters. So that's what I have in mind for today. So I have a tea-stained page here. I also have some of my gessoed paper. And I think I might just tear this in half. Not quite half, but you know. And I do have a few scraps here from creating those pockets and tags. So I am just going to start playing, really. I hope you're all fabulous. We have had a really lovely day here today until now. It's starting to come over quite stormy outside actually, and it was not expected for sure. We were expecting our warmest day so far this spring. And I didn't expect, I'm not saying it's a cool change, but I wasn't expecting any change, so I'm just curious to know what it's going to do. Fun. It's a little bit of a rumble I can hear. So I didn't think we were expecting any storms as such, but perhaps we are. So I'm really just going to play with my papers. I've got some music scraps as well, as you can see, and just see how they fall into place. So I don't know, I may just scooch you through quickly so that you can watch them come together. You've seen me make clusters before. I do tend to ink as I go, as you're seeing now. That's my personal preference. I do know some people who don't. Entirely up to you, what you like. I prefer them inked. The other thing is I also like to glue my papers down completely. I know some people just put a tiny bit of glue, and because they sew them together, which I also do, they're happy with them being looser on the backing. I prefer them all stuck together, so that's how I'm going to work on mine, which does take me a little bit longer, but I just prefer that look. Don't know why, can't explain it. I guess we all just like what we like. Pulling out my scraps to see what I have here. Sorry, I'm actually really distracted by the rumble outside. I didn't see it coming, so it's kind of caught me off guard. I haven't decided yet. I'm thinking these may end up being paper and fabric clusters. just going to see where the mood takes me, really. I've been watching a couple of people work on Christmas journals, and I'm like, now I want to play with Christmas things. But I've kind of committed myself to doing this. I have been thinking about my Christmas altered book and the fact that I had big intentions of getting back to it throughout the year and it didn't happen, and then it kind of became buried amongst other things, projects and papers and goodness knows what else. And so I feel like it's calling out to me at the moment with all of the Christmas cheer that I've been watching, all the Christmas crafting. So who knows, I may end up getting that out. I did do another video just before my internet stopped working on my Christmas altered book, and I didn't realize that it was very bright, so all my colors were blown out, and I've been trying to work out how I can fix that so I can still share the video, and I can't really say that I have worked it out, but I did have a little play, and I'm thinking that it may be okay to share. It won't be perfect, but it may be okay. So unfortunately, when the lighting is blown out, so basically the light was just too bright and everything either looks like shiny white where the whites are, or it kind of changes the color of things, which I wasn't happy about. So I will have a look at that again in the coming days and see if I think it's share worthy. I did actually think about putting it up in black and white. I thought I can just change it to black and white and I can share it black and white, but it's not really the same, is it, when you're looking at all the beautiful papers? So I'm not really sure what I will do, but it's one of those things that I kind of, well, clearly I couldn't share it at one stage because my internet wasn't working anyway. And I did have a play with it over that time to see if I could change it. I have limited editing software or programs that I can use to do my videos for YouTube. So I kind of walked away from it, and I'm thinking it's about now, it's probably time to come back to it and see what I have. I was really devastated though when I realized that it hadn't videoed properly, and it's become a bit of a thing now. Every time I set my camera up to video, I'm really worried that the exposure isn't going to be right. Okay, I'm thinking I might like something a bit longer. So this is part of my design team project for JunkWithSteph. I'm working with several of her kits at the moment, and there will be a playlist, so I will link that in the description below for you. The first video that I did was a flip through of the kits that I'm using. There are still a couple of kits that I have that I haven't printed yet because I ran out of matte photo paper, and I'm currently waiting on an order to come, and when that arrives I will print the rest of the kits and share them with you. But if you are watching me crafting and you're interested in knowing what the kit is that I'm using, then go to the playlist and find that flip through, and you will see all of the kits that I'm using, so you'll be able to work it out. I always love to see other people crafting with different kits and find out how they print and how they really look, I suppose, once they've been printed, because what you see on screen when you're looking at somebody's Etsy store isn't necessarily a true indication of just how beautiful they are once they're printed. And I did have a couple of wow moments when I was flipping through Steph's kits, doing the flip through of these papers from JunkWithSteph, ready for this project. I was just like, oh gosh, that's so beautiful. More beautiful than I realized when I was looking at it on screen. So, okay. No real rhyme or reason as to what I'm doing here. I'm just playing and chatting and listening to the storm rumble outside. Still amazed that we're getting a storm. Okay, so I'm thinking I might start gluing. It's funny, I don't know why I don't just glue to start with, but I kind of feel like I need to ease my way into it, I guess. I sometimes watch videos back when I do things and I'm like, that's not how you had it before you added the glue. But then I've watched other crafters do the same, so I'm like, okay, it's a creative license. We're allowed to change it up. Starting this design team project and working on my ephemera stash is making me so happy. See, I'm changing this up. I don't know where I had it, but it wasn't feeling right where I was putting it. Yes, it's just making me so happy. I'm just like, I've been wanting to do this for so long. I've been trying to set myself a goal of fussy cutting every evening, even if I do maybe half an hour. I don't know how you all do it. Trying really hard to build up what I have, partly because I'm working on my ephemera stash too, and so I'm like, if I'm going to be making lots of ephemera, I'm going to need lots of focal points. So fun. I really love clusters. It's one of those things you just never see two the same. I love watching them evolve. I'm not sure whether this will be a full-length video today or whether it will be a shorter video. I'll see how I go. It is a little bit later in the day than I usually do my videos, but I've kind of been sorting a few things. I've also set myself a goal to try and do a little bit of tidying and organising in my space again. Just a half hour if I can each day. Because the disorganisation is really starting to frustrate me. It's blocking my creative thought processes. I'm like, I need to do something about that. Keep thinking to myself, the answer to all of my problems would be having sufficient storage in here, which I still don't have. And again, I won't be rushing to get the things that I think I need. I'm taking my time and working on building things up slowly, which is fabulous because I can see it coming together, which is really exciting me as well. But at the same time, I have to live with the chaos that's around me. And yes, it is chaos until I have all that sorted. Generally, I'm a patient person, so I'm happy to wait. But every now and then I just think, oh, it would be so good to just come in here and not have the clutter that I see quite often when I do come into my space. The other thing that would help with that is, you know, at least double the hours in the day. I don't know about you guys, but oh my gosh, there's just not enough time to do everything I want to do. Oops. Okay. Okay, so we've locked those in. Now my fingers are tacky, everything's sticking to me. Okay. Okay, so I've got my basket of scrap fabrics here, and I'm just going to see if I can finish these off with some scraps. I really love that. Try not to overthink it too much, which I tend to do. Okay, so I'm just using my fabric glue to glue these down. I'm not trying to glue them completely, just to hold them in place until I sew them. Okay, so they are our clusters put together. Now I just have to tear them out and ink them, and then I will sew them and pop back and share with you. Okay, so now I've torn those out, I'm just going to ink around all of them. Okay, so they're all inked and ready to be sewn, and once I've sewn them I will pop back and show you what we've created. Fun, fun, fun. See you in a moment. Okay, so they've all been sewn, and just going to cut the threads. I do double stitch at each end of each cluster just to safeguard them from coming apart. Even though they're being glued down, I just prefer to have that little reassurance. Okay, loose thread. So I haven't popped anything on here. Sometimes I do like to just have, I was going to say plain, they're not really plain, they're still decorated. I love the paper and the fabric together rather than having focal points on them. And if I choose to put focal points on them as I'm using them, I can do it then. So that one actually goes that way. I'll have these every which way. I know I will. Just looking to see what's upside down and sideways, and there we go. So some fun little clusters to add to whatever ephemera we make as we're creating our ephemera stash. So thank you so much for joining me while I've put these together. I had lots of fun, and it's been a while since I've made clusters, so I really enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you all soon, everybody. Stay safe, stay inspired, and happy crafting. Bye for now.